it's me, Ingrid INFP, and I'm going to be reading the INFP healer description from Oddly Developed Types, which I think is one of the first descriptions of INFPs that I read when I first got into MBTI. So let's get into it. First, it comes with a little bit of statistics, which are probably they're old from the 80s and from the 90s, so I don't know if it's still true. INFPs are quiet, sensitive people who enjoy mediating upon connections and meanings in the universe around them. Lost in dreams, fantasies, and ideals, they may seem distant at first, but are in fact one of the warmest and kindest of all types. Once you get to know them, of course. And yes, that's true. We like pondering about meanings in the universe, and we like to dream. We are idealists. And yeah, we might seem distant, but we are the warmest and kindest of all types. So that's great. One type practitioner has suggested that INFPs are least likely to stand up for themselves. Their gentle nature and their dislike for negative emotions mean that they avoid conflict even at their own expense. But the same practitioner noted that INFPs can be more willing to stand up for themselves if they see that somebody else will be hurt if they do not. Interesting. I can see that. I can see that we avoid conflict, and that's why we wouldn't stand up for ourselves. But then, yes, we will stand up for ourselves if we see somebody else will be hurt. I think that it's more that we would stand up for ourselves when one of our values is violated. I think that then we will stand up for ourselves. But in general, we dislike conflict, so we won't. Since INFPs tend to hide their feelings, an offender may not realize that they have saddened or angered them. Tiger has suggested that these sorts of unaired griefs may lead to resentment that will eventually cause an INFP to cut a person out of their life without explanation. That's kind of interesting that they say this, because it sounds like the INFJ door slam, but for INFPs. You should check out INFP Older Insights video about the INFP door slam, which she calls something else. I forget what it is. She calls it the double-edged sword, like it has two sides, and they will cut people off. So yes, we will cut people out of their lives. Often, like, it doesn't need an explanation, because like the person should know what they did wrong. It's just often they don't. But that's because like they kind of ignore what the INFP has been telling them and showing them. And so we don't feel like we need to give an explanation. But yeah, we are hard to get to know, and it's hard for other people to understand how we feel if we don't talk about it. INFPs don't wear their feelings on their sleeves, but since those feelings are so tender, they are more apt to be hurt than people think. That's quite true. A word or act that another type might brush off can be damaging to a soft-hearted INFP. Yes. By the same token, criticism should be approached with particular gentleness and consideration. If possible, the emphasis should be placed upon how oneself or others are being hurt by the INFP's behavior, rather than the negative actions, qualities that they're causing issues. Um, I don't think that that's the right way to go about it, but I do see that a criticism should be approached with gentleness and consideration. But we will want to know the logical reasoning, and we don't particularly care about, or like, we don't want people to be hurt. But I think it's not the only reason why we'd be okay with feedback, you know? INFPs have a strong independent streak, which one might not guess from their desire for harmony. Yes, we are independent. In fact, the top values the INFP chose were hope, family, then autonomy, then health, and then friendships, then financial security. And they quote, they reference a research from 1998. So this is an old article. And then it says, in parentheses, money usually tends to fall near the end of the INFP lists. And yeah, we aren't really motivated by money in general. But it's interesting that we put home, family as first, and friendships is quite far down the list. Autonomy was pretty high up that list. INFPs were also among the top types for autonomy and creativity. Whatever an INFP does, whether work or play, it must have personal meaning to them and should bring a little more light to the world. And doing it independently is a big plus too. And yes, everything needs to have personal meaning, and we like being independent. So I agree. INFPs, like all NFs, have a strong sense of metaphor. This may lead to the anthropomorphization of animals or inanimate objects. For example, they may see a fly sitting on a glass and wonder what it is thinking. Then come up with a meaningful story about how it feels to be separated from everything you desire by an invisible wall. And that's really like how I deal with things. It's kind of funny because I saw an INFP video the other day where the INFP was comparing, it was like had named the fly in her room. So this is really the stuff that we kind of do. I actually gave my microwave a name. I forget what it was. He had like I say he. he had an old man's name. I forget if it was Roger or Robert. I don't remember. I sold that microwave, so now I have another one, which doesn't have a name. But yeah, we do have the anthropomorphization of things. Or an INFP may feel sorry for inanimate objects, i.e., they may secretly feel bad for an old bottle of shampoo that is being heartlessly replaced by a new bottle they just bought. The metaphorical abilities of the INFP causes them to see things as alive and possessing feelings. Not that they actually believe this, but they cannot help but imagine it. One wonders how they feel about eating animal crackers. And yeah, I was sad when I was a kid eating animal crackers. I would always eat the legs first and the head last because I didn't want to bite their head off. In fairy tales, one often hears of a woman who takes pity on the ants, cat, etc., only to find out that the creature is intelligent and grateful. The stories that INFPs create in their hearts are somewhat similar, though modernism has taken the pleasure out of getting a reward for one's deeds of kindness. Yeah, it's sad that we live in a world where kind people don't get treated well. Tiger, one of the authors, believed that INFPs were the most idealistic types. Kersey suggested that many INFPs will take on a cause and crusade for it, or go on a quest to bring good to others. For example, Isabel Myers spent many years advocating the Myers-Briggs Type Inventories test as a way for people to understand themselves and each other. INFPs have a set of inner values that they adhere to without compromise. People attempt to coerce INFPs in this area and may be surprised to find that instead of kicking a soft, yielding pillow, their foot has impacted an immovable block of granite. So yeah, I agree. We seem soft, but we're tough inside. In areas other than personal values, INFPs are perceivers to the core. Messy, flexible, adaptable, open-minded, and bound to neither timetables nor plans. Comfortable with improvising on the fly, INFPs deal well with the unexpected. So yeah, that is true. So that was what the oddly developed types description was. I agree with a whole lot of it. I'll be doing more videos about different articles from the Personality Cafe forum. And we'll see what I like or dislike. This is kind of me taking a break from like having to come up with my own ideas of what to make as videos. I don't want to make controversial videos for a while because I've posted a few now that have been a little bit where I'm not like 100% proud of myself for doing. I got a great response, and I'm happy for that, but I also I want to keep things a little bit cool now, like a little bit. I want to keep the harmony basically that I have right now. So that's what I had to say. So I'll put the link in the description for this description. Please tell me if you have any ideas for videos. I'm getting low on ideas right now. And please like and subscribe. Have a great day. Bye-bye.